Hi guys, it's Moa aka Swedish Whisky Girl, and today I'm here with another Swedish single malt. So this is from Mackmyra, which is a distillery I've actually been to. If you want to read more about that, I put the link here below. But this is the Mackmyra Svensk Rök Amerikansk Ek, which translates to Swedish Smoke and American Oak. So it's been matured on American New Oak, and it sits at 46.1 ABV. And this whiskey was actually inspired by the traditional way to flavour and preserve food by smoking juniper twigs. So it's a kind of different way of kind of smoking your barley. So instead of just using peat, they also use some juniper twigs, which I think is a very interesting way to kind of involve that Swedish culture in your flavour in the whiskey, which is one of the reasons I really like Mackmyra. I am of course a big fan of quirky whiskies, and maybe I'm a little bit biased because I'm Swedish, but I'm quite proud to be Swedish when Swedish whiskey is holding this kind of high quality. And I mean, they are doing some really interesting whiskey. The latest one being matured on Oloroso and green tea season casks. I mean, who does that? And I absolutely love it. But let's have a little look on this one, the Svensk Rök Amerikansk Ek. I always think this and many other peated Swedish malts, they smell like a Swedish forest. I don't really know how to describe it. It's just kind of a mixture of the different trees, a lot of pine. And when I was younger, me and my dad and the rest of my family would go up something called Hästingsåsen, which is a place in Dalarna where I was born, so a little bit slightly higher up in the country, not all the way up north, but kind of mid-Sweden, slightly up north. And it's this kind of lovely nature walk where you walk up to this lovely place where you can make up your own bonfire, and sometimes you would bring like sausages or chicken or just some foods, and you sit there out in nature and just have a lovely meal that you cooked yourself. And that's just, those memories is what I get when I nose this. It has a kind of a herby smoke as well. Maybe it's that kind of juniper vibe, but also some kind of dry cooking spices. Maybe a bit of parsley or tarragon. It also to me smells like smoked meats. So meaty in the way that if you tried smoked meats, they taste smoky and has that meat flavour as well. But if you imagine a meaty whiskey, sometimes you imagine a whiskey that has the influence of worm tub condensers, for example, and that's not the vibe I'm getting. I'm not getting any sulfury notes or waxy, oily notes, but just that kind of smoked meat. So it's kind of a dry smoked meat sensation. I could nose this all day. It's just, yeah, it's great. But let's have a taste. Skål! First thing you get is that drying sensation and the herby smoke. It's very kind of bonfire smoke. It's dry and it's warming and delicious. And kind of ashy as well. Maybe that has to do with that dryness. Not an overwhelming amount of spice, and not overwhelmingly fruity either. It's just that lovely smoke. So if you are a smoke fan, maybe you're a peat head, I definitely think you will enjoy this. It does have kind of I think using new American oak kind of enhances the smoke in a way that just makes this lovely. I don't think this is too old. It is a non-age statement, but I think it suits it really well to have a younger age where you have both that kind of oaky character as well as that lovely powerful smoke. It definitely has a long finish as well. It's just like warming me up. We actually walked past where they smoked their barley when we were at the distillery in Gävle, and it just smelled amazing. So maybe I'm getting slightly memories of that as well, nosing this. It's like on the top of, like the tip of my tongue, I have this kind of, it almost feels a bit tanniny, so that dry sensation you could get from red wine. Just along with this magnificent big smoke. It just takes over the palate. Maybe it's a bit like tar as well, kind of a nice way of making like the bonfire smoke a little bit heavier. It's like this underlying tar note. As you can see, my bottle is almost gone. I actually got this bottle as a gift from the master distiller, or the chief nose officer of Mackmyra, which is Angela Dorazio. She's an incredible woman. She's a big inspiration to me. She knows so much about whiskey, and she's so passionate about flavour and all these different experiments that she does with whiskey, the way she manages to get top quality and lovely flavour out of the weirdest of casks, like combining green tea and whiskey. That's just something that works for her and then works for everyone else, because when she does it, it just gives this amazing result. Or maybe I shouldn't say that yet because I've not been able to try it, but hopefully I will soon. But I do have one of my favourite whiskies of all time, is the Mackmyra Fjällmark, which has been on cloudberry wine seasoned casks, and that is an incredible thing that just reminds me of Sweden, and I feel like you're tasting whiskey the Swedish way, which I feel is really nice. I love tasting international whiskies and seeing how people have managed to incorporate their own culture and country into the whiskey. I would of course love to hear if you've tried any Mackmyras. Have you tried this one, the Svensk Rök Amerikansk Ek? And perhaps you tried another peated Swedish whiskey. There's lots of them out there. They're really, really nice. Please let me know in the comments below. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. The link is below as well. And as always, ha en trevlig dag. Slanjava, skål!